Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Pride's Ajwaa. Alright, so Ajwaa is from the House of Lattafa. It's from their Pride line series. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this sucker up for $45, $50 at Jova Shop. Link will be down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Presentation on this, pretty nice as per the usual Pride line series. Nice thick cardboard box, has the name of the fragrance and the Lattafa logo right up front there. Not too much going on the back, and it does open up like so, revealing our very unique fragrance bottle sitting inside this nice little podium foam stand right there. So overall, a box presentation on this is pretty nice, but we got to talk about this bottle here. We have ourselves this nice kind of frosted glass tropical palm tree going on here. A little bit of a dangly medallion right up there with Lattafa Ajwaa right there, and the cap on this is a nice thick heavy metal. It's got a little bit of plastic on the inside, so it's a little lightweight, but it is mostly metal. And the atomizer on this bad boy, pretty nice, good distribution, nice long puffs. So yeah, presentation is definitely unique. So if you were wondering what Lattafa Pride's Ajwaa smells like, you've come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are bergamot, lemon, elemi, dates, licorice, myrrh, benzoin, vanilla, labdanum, musk, and some incense. So unique combination of notes there. Let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In the opening, it's got a bit of a freshness to it. It's got a bit of a citrus liveliness with that bergamot, little hint of that lemon. More of that bergamot, it has that kind of tart citrus aspect to it, and the lemon in this is more got kind of a peppery tone to it. So there's a very spicy style of opening with little hints of that citrus. The elemi kind of adds that peppery, lemony sort of vibe going on to it, and you get a nice fruity date that's up top. So it's a nice balance between some fruit sweetness as well as some nice spices. The black licorice quickly moves in from that mid note, and it just pretty much takes over the show. So if you're not a fan of black licorice, this one is definitely going to be challenging for you because it is a very prominent note to it. Think of it like if you're familiar with the candy, like the Haribo black licorice candy, very much what this one is. The myrrh in this also kind of adds to that licorice accord, adding an additional layer of some spice that's in there. And it's just kind of a nice dance between this, like this open spice cabinet with a little bit of fruity sweetness coming from that date, little pops of that citrus, and this kind of nice sweet balsamic benzoin that starts to work its way in after a couple of minutes. So a very unique sweet profile with a whole bunch of spices, and it's just overall a very distinct, very interesting DNA that's going on with this fragrance. As you get towards the mid and the dry down, this takes on a bit of a woody appeal when you get towards more of the dry down, but it has that licorice that's there, the spices still remain, more of that benzoin comes up, so it takes on a very sweet balsamic nature. The date's still there, but it kind of sits in behind it a little bit, and the benzoin more takes over. Very spicy, benzoin, sweet balsamic nature, a little bit of a woody base, and you get a bit of a wisp of this incense that kind of wraps the whole thing up. So it's not a smoky style of incense, more kind of almost a sweet, churchy style of incense, just adds a little bit of character, and just some musk kind of ties things together. So it's a very weird combination of notes, I will admit. This is a very distinct fragrance, and this is definitely not going to be for everybody. If you're into kind of unique fragrances that has an interesting mix of some sweet balsamic tones, a little bit of fruity sweetness, and a whole bunch of spices, especially that black licorice, you might enjoy this one, but this is not going to be a dumb reach, you know, compliment beast style of fragrance. This is going to be more for those who kind of are willing to step out, if you will, and try something a little bit different, because this fragrance is very different. Some have compared this to Legacy of Petra by Penhalion, and another fragrance I've never tried before, so I can't tell you if it smells like that or not, but this definitely does not smell like anything I have in my collection. So if you're looking for something a little bit unique, you might want to try this one out. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Pride's Ajwaa, really good performance on this. First hour and a half to 2 hours, the projection on this is quite loud. This can be a room-filling fragrance if you go crazy on the sprays. It just, that spice really blasts off, that sweet balsamic nature really kind of moves things out. So you got to be a little bit careful on the sprays on this, especially because it's such a unique fragrance, because this will fill up the room, and like I said, it is a little bit loud in that initial opening here. So projection on this, pretty good. Longevity, I was getting between 6 and 8 hours on various wearings that I had, but I did get some on my clothing, and it lasted several days on my clothes. So I think I've only had this bottle for 3 weeks now, 4 weeks now. I think after this sits for a little bit longer, I think the longevity will definitely improve on this, and I think this has potential to be a beast mode fragrance. But like I said, so far, 6-8 hours worth of longevity off skin and off clothing. You're definitely gonna push that into the next day. So when it comes to the where and when, I think Lattafa Pride's Ajwaa would be most appropriate. Definitely think this is kind of a cool weather to kind of maybe mildly warm weather style of fragrance. So fall and spring is where I think this one would shine. Definitely has more of a kind of that fall vibe going on to it with the spices, that warm balsamic sweetness that goes on to it. That's where I definitely think it would shine, but you can definitely wear this in the spring. I think into the winter time, this would push through the cold on a kind of a moderately cold day, but I don't think this is gonna be a great summer fragrance. Despite the bottle being a palm tree, which is a weird choice for the scent profile that's in this, I think the spices, the sweet aspects to this are gonna be far too much in the high heat, so I probably wouldn't recommend wearing this in the summertime. Fall and spring, that's where I think this one will do best. In terms of occasions, this is a weird one as well. Because it has such a unique scent profile to it, it's not necessarily a great casual wear fragrance. It's not something you just pick up when out running errands or going out for lunch with your friends or wearing to the office or the gym or anything like that. This has more kind of an evening feel to it, like you're evening out. It has this mysteriousness, a bit of an allure and an intrigue to it that I just find kind of a nighttime vibe is probably where this would fit best. Maybe a formal occasion. Date nights, you could get away with it if your date is into that black licorice kind of accord. I think you might be able to pull this off, but it's a bit tricky when it comes to that, but definitely has those evening sort of vibes. And like I said, fall, spring style of temperatures where I think this one's gonna shine. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Pride's Ajwaa. This one was a hard one for me, to be quite honest. When I first opened this one up and I smelt that black licorice that was in here, I was immediately turned off because I do not like black licorice, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to do a review for you guys, and I'm gonna have to wear this a handful of times, and this is gonna be torture. But I have to admit, after a few wearings of this one really actually grew on me because it's so interesting. It has that artistic nature to it. It has that really interesting combination of those spices, those sweet balsamic natures, that pop of that fruity sweetness, the incense that's all working together, that bit of a woody base, that amberiness that comes through. It's just a very interesting scent profile. And for people who are, the fragrance enthusiasts out there that are, sick of the Invictus-y style of fragrances, this one is in the complete opposite direction. Very distinctive scent profile on this. Like I've mentioned before though, this is definitely not going to be for everybody. This is definitely not a blind buy. If you can get a sample of this to try it out first, I would highly recommend that, because there's a good chance you might not like this, but for those of you out there that are willing to kind of take a step out and be a little bit adventurous, you might want to try this one out because it does have that kind of artistic side to it. And like I said, performance on this, I think this has potential to be a beast mode fragrance after some time, and I think it'll be a decent fall spring style of fragrance. So overall, I like this one, but it took me a while to grow on me, and I'm not going to recommend that everyone's going to like this one. Some people are going to absolutely hate this one, but some of you might actually enjoy this one. So I'll leave that up to you. You decide for yourself. That's Lattafa Pride's Ajwaa. And I want to hear from you guys. What's another Lattafa Pride fragrance you'd like to see me do a full review on? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different tastes and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.